Okay, we are live.
Okay.
So tell everyone your name.
My name is Mitch Kelly.
And really, 3 generations of unvaccinated.
Yes, going on our third. So I didn't vaccinate my daughter when she was born. She's 34 years ago. She may have had one round in the hospital that I wasn't aware of. If they took her and did something, they weren't doing mandatory Hep B at that time. So as far as I know, there wasn't anything, but I made a decision very early on to not vaccinate. It just didn't make sense to me. She went to a well baby visit. They talked about injecting her, I think it was a polio, live polio vaccine. And I asked them how that works, and they said, we're going to take a little live polio and inject it in your baby, and it will help her build antibodies. And I just thought that doesn't make sense. Why would I take my perfectly healthy baby, inject her with a live disease so she doesn't get the live disease? Like, no, we're not going to be doing that. So that's what started it for me.
Well, wait, but were you vaccinated?
No.
Were your parents vaccinated?
Don't know, probably.
So the generations you're talking about is your generations?
Mine, and then my daughter, and not my grandson.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, so why?
Right.
Yeah, carry on.
Okay, so basically it wasn't a big issue. You know, we're talking 33 years ago. No, it's not like not vaccinating your child today. Our only issue we came across when she started kindergarten, I got a call from the principal, come up to the school. You either need to bring her vaccination records or she needs to go home. And again, this was 30 years ago. So went up to the school. I said, no, she does not need to be vaccinated. I handed her just a written out, we have a religious exemption. That was it. No, and that was all we had to contend with her entire generation of growing up. When she hit 17 or 18, she had an appointment with an OBGYN. First time I was working, I couldn't go with her. I sat her down. I said, there is a new vaccine out, HPV. Do not get it, no matter what, under any circumstances. No matter what they say, do not get this vaccine. If you do, I will not pay for it. Do not do it. She went to the appointment, and when she left the house, I actually called the doctor's office, and I told them, I am not giving my consent for my daughter having HPV. She is coming in for this, and this. No HPV. Understood. She goes to her appointment. I get a call 15, 20 minutes later. She is sobbing. I got it. I got the shot. I'm like, what do you mean you got the shot? She had 3 nurses come in and tell her that if she didn't get the shot, that she would die from cancer. So she took it. She's had all kinds of thyroid issues, diagnosed Hashimoto's ever since, and to this day struggles with some autoimmune issues. So fast forward, she is now an adult. She has her first baby, which is my grandson. She had a very unhealthy pregnancy, preeclampsia, high blood pressure. She ended up having an emergency C-section, almost 3 months early, the baby. So she was living in Chicago at the time. By the time I got off the plane, they'd already taken the baby, went to Rush Hospital, to NICU, and as I was walking in, the nurses were walking out saying, we're taking the baby to give him this Hep B vaccine. Now, the baby, again, was 3 months premature. His lungs were not even developed. We're taking to get a Hep B vaccine. No, halt. I'm like, that baby is not having a Hep B vaccine under any circumstances. We do not want a Hep B for him at this time. Nurse leaves. 10 minutes later, the doctor appears. I hear that you are objecting to the hepatitis B vaccine. Well, can I ask you why? So a lot of debating back and forth, explained to him that the kid was going to be in NICU for 30 minutes or for 30 days, and unless they're using dirty needles in NICU, which I think they're not, or he's having unprotected sex, there's no need for it. So the point of this story is, the minute I left, they all came in, got her and her husband, 3 different nurses, made him watch 2 or 3 different videos. At the end of one of the videos, her husband said, "Do you think we should do it?" She's like, "No, we're not doing it." He goes home from the hospital. My daughter's still in NICU with the baby. She's not even in her door, and she receives a phone call from the hospital to the husband saying, "We don't need your permission to vaccinate the baby. So if you give us, we just need one parent." They were so manipulative. They waited till the husband left. You have this young couple, right, who has a premature baby that they're not even sure is going to survive, and they're trying to pit the husband and the wife against each other. It was just abhorrent. So they didn't do it. They get him out of the hospital. They bring him home. She locks herself in the house with him, doesn't take him out for maybe 3 or 4 months until her husband's insistence. They go to a well baby checkup because they want to make sure his weight's well, all that. She goes to the hospital or to the doctor, and they just are doing and guying about how fabulous he is. They can't believe how well he's doing, how well he's thriving, which was very interesting to me because they said he was fine, but they were shocked at how well he was doing. So in that visit, the nurse walks in with a tray, I think 6 different syringes, a total of 10 different vaccines. We'd like to get him caught up, since he's here. She said, "I'm not giving him 10 vaccines today." And they said, and escorted her out of the practice, basically. They said, "If you do not do these vaccines before we leave, you're out." So they escorted her out, told her good luck, on her way. So she found a different doctor. He's doing very well to this day. However, he's been excluded from parties. It's torn families apart. It's cost them their friends. And it's just been a rough road. And that's it.
So you only have one child?
One child.
So this is not actually 3 generations of unvaccinated. Your daughter had a Gardasil.
No, I wasn't.
No, you weren't vaccinated, and then your daughter wasn't until she got herself one Gardasil.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
We need
so
to
then
change
that's
that title, Claire.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
And then the bullying in the hospital as well is something we hear a lot about. So how old is that grandchild today?
7.
And describe actually what he's like, because he is totally unvaccinated, correct?
Yes, he is totally unvaccinated. So when they escorted her out of the doctor's office that day, their final words to her were, "Good luck finding a pediatrician in Chicago who will treat him without being vaccinated." And she said, "Well, I'll take my chances." My mom gave me a whole list of doctors to call. They found an amazing doctor in Chicago who I believe you've talked to several times. And when they had his first visit, everyone was dancing around the vaccine conversation. And he says, "Okay, I hate to address the elephant in the room, but what have you done with vaccines?" And she was afraid to tell him because she didn't want to get kicked out of another office. She said, "We haven't vaccinated him." Doctor stood up, walked across the room, high-fived her, high-fived her husband, said, "Good job, Mama. This baby was a number 1 risk for a severe autistic outcome because he was so premature, he was white, and a boy." They've continued to keep this doctor, even though they've moved across the country, and they go to see him. They have to drive there.
Why do you in America? Why do you have to see a pediatrician if your child's not sick?
You don't.
Okay, I say we need to stop this.
She needs to go see him twice a year to stay within the practice for his medical exemption.
So messed up the system, isn't it?
So she drives all the way to every year to take this perfectly healthy boy so he can keep his medical exemption. That's why. He doesn't go to well baby visits. He doesn't do anything.
They're called hell baby checks.
Baby, yes, hell baby visits.
All right, look, thank you so much for that story. It is interesting, though. I think it's always an education for people. The bullying. We need to show everyone this is not okay. It's not okay for these parents to be bullied like this, and the doctor's lies. Not okay.
The whole thing with the doctors calling the husband. Here you have this young couple, their first child. He's very ill. They don't even know if he's going to survive, and they're trying to pit the husband against the wife, going behind her back to try and get her husband to okay that Hep B vaccine. mean, it's just
Disgusting.
It's so
We hear
evil.
that a lot, though, to be honest.
Yeah, just so evil. So
Okay, viewers,
we